Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rawlings, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a...
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
Good morning and welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Networks. Leroy Lucero along with Michael Carlisle. Michael, how are you doing this fine morning?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's kind of a weird time. I mean, football season's over. Basketball season, college-wise, is wound down, obviously, except for recruiting and transfers is going insane. And while I do like football, soccer, if you will, that's more of the European style, and that's kind of wound down, especially now Barcelona took the L yesterday. And I'm just kind of like, all there is like sports that most people don't usually watch. It's summertime. People are getting out of their houses and kind of doing stuff. There's some golf stories.
Hold on. People don't watch America's pastime?
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they really watch it?
Yeah.
Or do they just sleep through like 8 innings and then kind of wake up at the end and see what happens?
No, they watch it. There's a lot of sports going on.
See, I always thought, like as a kid, I mean, of course, when I was a kid, we didn't have cable, so there was Monday Night Baseball.
Did you have TVs back then? You
guys
huddled around the radio,
well,
right?
I mean, but I was going to say, baseball to me, I mean, we'd always go to the Duke Stadium, of course, as a kid. In fact, I used to sell drinks there, or pop, because we used to line up and you'd wear like I was a boy then. We'd wear a clip-on tie and you'd have to wear a white shirt. And then Pat McKernan would come out and he'd say, we'd all line up on the fence. Like, it was like, what would you call that? And he'd say, you, and you. Go ahead and come on in. And the rest of us were like, okay, I might as well. I'm here, so I'll take off the clip-on and take off the white shirt and go in and watch the game. But you had to buy a ticket then. The other way you get to watch it. And so you used to make money, used to make bank. You'd sell a whole tray of soda pops, which you hated to do soda pops because they were heavy, right? You would love popcorn. But you'd sell like a whole tray of that stuff and make like $1.
Yeah, that doesn't seem
it wasn't, economically, it wasn't very
right.
good. But this was the 70s, well, this is like the late 70s. So, yeah, I mean, $1 went a long way back then. But, I mean, if you sold 5 trays, you make $5, you got to go into the game for free. So, at one time, I did like baseball. But I'm just saying, now I don't really watch it. I mean, but I used to listen to the radio too back in the day.
Yeah, but
The great Mike Roberts used to call
absolutely
Dukes.
Yeah,
out.
you've obviously been scarred with baseball.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
having
there
to
you
lug
go.
drinks up and down the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a rough one. Though, if you could get in like on 4th of July, that was big bank. You could make $25, $30 hustling hot dogs or popcorn. Hey, man, when you're a kid, you do what you got to do to get into games, right? You don't know that because you get press credential to everything, right? Is there anything you don't get press credential for? You are press, so I mean, you earn it. But I mean, UFC. What else? Lobo football, Lobo basketball.
One of these is not like the other. Yes.
No, I'm just busting your chops a little bit. No, I mean it's good. I mean, Isadukes are doing well now. Are they? Does it matter? Do people care?
Yeah, people care.
Do they? I mean, when I say care, do they care about the record, or do they just care because it's something to do? It's a fun thing to do.
The record's secondary. It's not. People aren't leaving cursing. Like if the Lobo basketball team
Right,
loses.
right.
But yeah, people care.
You don't
wanna
get
have a
calls
winner.
when the Isadukes lose.
Couple.
Do you really?
Yeah.
People are like, man, I'm telling you, this player.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's cool.
Just a couple, and it's really, it's kind of odd. Yeah.
So something I did want to talk about. I think I sent you a text. Was it Cinco de Mayo or Monday? Because obviously the New Mexico United sold out. First sellout. They're doing really well with attendance. Big party, a lot of stuff going on. And I sent you, I believe I did send you a text, and I said, are they packing the place because it's the thing to do or because they're winning? And you kind of said, what did you say?
Well, I think it's, first of all, a lot of people like soccer.
They do.
That's part of it. It's the thing to do.
Mm-hmm. It's the new toy.
Sure. Part of the reason it's the thing to do, though, is because they're playing very well.
Right.
They're in, first place in their division?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On top of the table is the way they say it. That's soccer talk. I've learned that.
Okay.
They're on top of the table.
They're on top of the table.
Uh-huh.
And yeah.
I'll be the first to admit.
They're playing in the best venue in the city.
Yeah, and
in the state.
So we had this discussion, and I think I told you. I notice I'm wearing my yellow, United yellow. Anyway, I said when they first kind of came about, I kind of laughed because I've seen how many minor league pro franchises come to the state of New Mexico and promptly die. And and then the venue was like, baseball field to see a soccer match seems kind of weird. Because you're not surrounding everything. I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. I think that they've done a great job.
For sure.
The United organization. Obviously, the fans have passionately taken care. And I think my question to you was, are they filling up United because of great marketing and they're winning, or because Lobo Athletics has been a freaking disaster for the past 2 years? Or both?
Well, I think fans want to cheer for a winner.
Of course.
Absolutely, and that certainly helps. I don't know that it's marketing, because I don't think they've done a lot of marketing from a traditional standpoint. They've done a lot of word-of-mouth marketing and a lot of social media marketing, and that's worked out incredibly well for them. But yeah, I think it's a combination of things. Again, you're playing at Isotopes Park. That's, like you mentioned, that's a unique situation. You're wondering, well, what the heck's a soccer field going to look like there? They actually do a phenomenal job.
They do.
Getting the field ready for soccer and then converting it back for the Isotopes. You're in Isotopes Park. I think that makes a huge difference. And again, above all, they continue to win.
And I think that's the most important thing. And props to them. I mean, look, like I said, when I first heard the idea, I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, we've seen these forever.
Right.
Come and go in Albuquerque. And soccer as well. Not just, but I mean, all sports have tried here in the city and have failed, or if they or they go to the graveyard up in Rio Rancho.
Yeah.
But I mean, props to them. They have done an outstanding job.
For sure.
And it's funny because I went with my family. We went to the Cinco de Mayo party at Sandia Casino, and there was United fans there dressed up, wearing like the big yellow hats with canes and all. It was like, wow, okay, so these people really are buying into this entire thing, and I think that's awesome. I'm just, like I said, UNM needs to learn something from them, and I think well, that would be the best part. But I think what you tapped on it, what you said was totally cool. or totally right on, spot on, is the social media aspect. When I first started the redmenace.com, that was the idea. Granted, there was no Twitter and all that then, but the idea was, let's use this new internet thing,
Right.
regardless of what Al Gore says, but it was still brand new at that time, and try to build this up like that. And there was a lot of pushback. And I don't know, I know that they tried this year with spring football. I don't know how that went over. It might be too late for this regime, the current football coach and all that, to make this happen. But UNM needs to really use that.
Yeah, keep in mind too, the United had the advantage of being something that's brand new.
Right,
So
absolutely.
that they didn't have any positive history. They didn't have any negative history either. So you go into it. Hey, it's brand new. Let's check it out. And then you get the added bonus of, oh my gosh, they're good. They keep winning.
Soccer's a little weird. It's not just winning. You're not losing. That's the key, because they have like 4 or 5 draws, I think, which,
But still, you're still winning. You're on top of the table.
I like that. I like the eye roll on that when you said that.
You've got you're in a great venue. Look, not knocking anything, but if they were playing at the Lobo Soccer Complex, they'd be drawing a couple of thousand tops.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That plays into it as well. But they've had, quite honestly, and kudos to them, pretty much everything they've done has turned out right.
Are you saying they should change the color from yellow to gold because everything they've touched so far has turned to gold?
I think they're fine.
I will say this, though. Settle down with the, hey, Major League Soccer, look at us, look at us. Relax, Albuquerque.
Well, hold on, dude. You've got to start somewhere. You're a lot better off starting off the way they're starting than if they were drawing 1,500 people, 2,000 people.
Major League Soccer is not coming to Albuquerque right now to play at Isodukes Park. You have to have a stadium. You have to show a little bit more than just 10 games of attendance.
But you're putting the cart before the horse.
I'm not.
You've seen a lot of you're already poo-pooing it. You've seen a lot of excitement. Yes, you have to continue to build on it.
Yeah.
But, don't rain on people's parade. There's a good thing going on right there.
It is a good thing.
Let's see how it goes.
Absolutely.
If attendance drops off the second half, the rest of the season.
You can say second half.
And then next year, I don't know when the halfway point is. And then, next year they're drawing 3,500. All right, then you can start raining on parades. But, let's see how things play out.
We had Steve Virgin on last week. I asked him, I've asked you this a couple of times. We're starting to see the momentum once again for United. If this continues and they continue to win, they'll be in the playoffs. Come September, October, Lobo football starts across the street. Will the United have more fans in Isodukes Park than do the Lobo football team at University Stadium?
Are you asking announced attendance or actual butts and seats?
I'm at both.
Okay, announced attendance, no.
Okay.
Butts and seats, possibly.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. What does Isodukes Field hold for soccer? Is it 12,000?
Well, they had 15,000 on Sunday, right?
Okay, 15,000.
And you said that was a sellout, so that.
Right, they said it was a sellout.
Right. So
I'm trying to recall in the back of my head what were some of the announced attendance for Lobo football.
I think they averaged 17 something.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
I think so, somewhere in that area.
Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough. I don't know how many more people are buying tickets or how many people are going to drop off from buying tickets this year from last year. Just saying. But they did have a heck of a tailgate because I saw the video online. So anyway, enough soccer talk. Why don't we go ahead and take a quick break? We'll come in with Micah, and then we'll talk about some of the other things that are going on in sports, including the Kentucky Derby. Obviously, tragedy struck the University of New Mexico once again, this time on the baseball side of things. We definitely would be remiss not to talk about that. And then we can talk about whatever else you want to. It's kind of, like I said, for me, it's kind of like, for you, this is exciting time. Your Cubbies are winning. First place, right?
Half game out.
Half game out.
Yep.
We don't call that on top of the table in baseball, right?
No, we just call it
first place.
Yeah.
But still flying that W flag.
Sure.
Right? Okay, great. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with CageMinds.com, Micah Frankel, and then a little bit more Red Menace TV here on ProView Networks.
By Gabby O'Hara, number 35. Corner three's up, and it's good. Good move to the basket. Alyssa. Shot is up, and it's good. Mark back to check that. It's not Benali, it's Gallegos. Shot goes up. This time she gives it up to her teammate, who spins and scores. Thinks twice about the three, penetrates, splits the double team. Out to Marcus, he's not afraid, he penetrates, puts it up with the... Back, bringing it up. Is she going to take it all the way? And indeed she does, lays it up, and... Good by Estrella Sanchez. Offensive rebound. But there's a countdown. He goes, oh, the block. Get that out of here. Mackey puts it up.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
Ah!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
At Gala Chevrolet, our master technicians service every make and model no matter where you purchase your vehicle. But that's not all. We also provide certified service on every GM model. So if your car's been acting a little funny lately or something just doesn't seem right, don't wait. Bring it in to the most modern service facility in the entire state and let us make sure that you're driving a vehicle you and your family can depend on. Service done right the first time, every time, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters! It's like it never happened!
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of ProView Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of ProView Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Next in line.
Welcome to the place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. This is Caged Minds. I'm Micah Frankel. Got a lot of action to cover. Let's get right to the highlights. I mean, there were some fun knockouts, a lot of great stuff last weekend. It all started off with me going up to Vail for LFA 65. There's the co-main event. Jose Mariscal getting viciously knocked down by Borjan. That is actually right there before the fight was broken up, but in all, the Brazilian would find the first round knockout, a vicious left hook. In the main event, Joby Sanchez was on top, controlling position from the Darsho position, rolled into Brandon Royval's guard, and Royval hits the submission armbar for the victory. Phoenix Rising won, and the winner of the strawweight tournament, the new champion, is Brianne Van Buren. 2 submissions, an armbar, a rear naked choke, and a decision in all gets the job done. A dominant performance. Bellator over the weekend. Raymond Daniels, that spin ended up with the right overhand hook, a first round knockout. The Bellator kickboxing champion transitioning over to MMA in a beautiful way. And Brett Primus, the former lightweight champion, is back in the win column. He gets a go-go plata, a rarely seen fancy submission of Tim Wilde there in the main event of Bellator Birmingham. UFC in Ottawa, UFC Fight Night. Derek Brunson, takedowns, aggression, looking to finish the fight, pulls out the decision victory over Elias Theodorou. And in the main event, the jab and the leg kicks of Donald Cerrone systematically break down Al Iaquinta. The Raging One continuously threw leather, never gave up, but the decision would go the way of the Cowboy. And Canelo Alvarez would also go the distance, but would put on some defensive masterful, making it very hard to be hit, giving Daniel Jacobs a rough time all night long. Canelo unifying the middleweight titles across the board. Now, as for this weekend's action, we got another slideshow real quick to get to before you saw a sneak peek of our guest, but we'll get to Randy here in a second. Let's get to that slideshow, Alden, if we can, for what's coming up this week. Start off with the Pro Fighters League, Season 2, Week 1. It's the female lightweights and the male welterweights. That's on ESPN 2. That is on Thursday night. Thursday night also on Fight Pass, you have Island Fights 56. Heavyweights, UFC vet Chase Sherwin in the main event. Then Friday we have Showtime Boxing. Ruben Villa, Luis Alberto Lopez, a 10-rounder. They're featherweights. That's the main event there. Go on Friday night, DAZN 2 title fights. Main event, Lee Wood versus Ryan Doyle. It's a 12-rounder for Wood's Commonwealth featherweight title. Friday night on Fight Pass, more boxing action. Abraham Nova versus Mario Esquil Sela Lozano. It's a 10-rounder. They are junior lightweights. Saturday, ESPN, Manuel Navarrete versus Isaac Dobar. It's a 12-round rematch. 12-round rematch for Navarrete's WBO junior welterweight title. Jason Sanchez, the local kid, is on the card. Main event is Michael Birch versus Francisco Vargas. Saturday night on Fox, you have unbeaten Garrett Hurd and Julian Williams for the WIBA WBA middleweight title. They both belong to Hurd. You also, on Saturday night, have UFC action from Brazil. Nama Yunus Andrade for that lovely strawweight title. Silva Cannonier is your co-main event. And then Volkanovski looking to become a title challenger in the featherweight division as he faces Jose Aldo. Don't forget, on Sunday, you also have Submission Underground 8th, the Submission Underground debut on Fight Pass. Diego Sanchez versus Jake Ellenberger on that one. Monday night, you can check out Muay Thai action on UFC Fight Pass. And then we have one last slideshow to get to talk about the local scene. A couple local events are upcoming here for us, highly anticipated. This Friday night, we'll be at Isleta Resort and Casino for Fresquez JW Fight Night 5. Steve Me Machine Garcia, Andrew Whitney in the main event. And then don't forget Southwest MMA Series 28, June 8th. Unbeaten featherweights in the main event. Jess Martinez headlining at home once again. And that takes us all the way around to our guest. You saw a sneak peek of him earlier. Let's welcome in Randy Brown in action this Friday night at Isleta Resort and Casino on that amateur card. Thanks for being here, Randy. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Mike, man?
Man, it's fight week. Thanks for making it in. How are you feeling?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go put on a show and show these people what it's all about. You know, I want to get in there and hopefully take this guy out, knock him out, give you some more highlight reels to talk about in the next show. And, you know, everybody should come out this Friday at 7 p.m. We'll be ready to go.
Randy has been fighting here for quite a while now. This is going to be heading into his 6th amateur fight. We've seen him love the striking realm. We've seen Randy be pushed back and come out and be able to survive and then overcome a rough fight. Your last fight, though, got stopped in a weird manner. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, man. I really just felt like me and my whole team, we got kind of hometown. I got a nosebleed, and they stopped my fight. You know, and as you could see, it was on live TV. Anybody could see I was still ready to fight, and so were my teammates. It was just kind of despicable. Lesson learned, you know, though. You got to go out there when it's a hometown, whenever you're going into someone else's hometown, and really put the business on the mats, because there's nothing any kind of talking about it will do now.
Now, how do you feel heading into this one, looking back at that last experience? How's it kind of make that hunger a little more prevalent for the victory come Friday night?
Well, definitely took that last one with a grain of salt. I got plenty of fuel for this fire, though. Definitely thanks to that, and just many other things in my life going around me.
Like we said, we've seen that devastating striking of yours. I know you love to throw your hands. Your kicks have been an awesome weapon. What's been your biggest focus, in training here recently?
Mainly just timing and making sure that I can get off what I want to get off when I want to do it. You know, I want to be able to shut this guy down in his own game, and then if he has an emergency takedown or anything, it's going to be worse for him, because I'll be able to take him out in that area of the game also.
And as a young fighter, overall, this will be your, 6th fight we were saying, or 7th fight with one Muay Thai fight before?
Fifth MMA, but 6th fight altogether with Muay Thai involved.
So how much more comfortable are you becoming in that firefight and getting in the exchanges? Because that's really something you have to be able to get comfortable to let your true skills kind of show.
Man, I know I'm nowhere near on the level, but I always think back to John Jones versus Cormier 2, in between the rounds, how he's just smiling and happy to be there, you know. I can only imagine how that feels. It must be just a great feeling, and I want to be able to think that I'm feeling that way next time I get in there, but we'll see once my skills start to show themselves.
And now this journey for you, been out here for a couple years here in New Mexico. Tell everybody where this journey began.
I used to just be, 4 years ago, I used to just be a weightlifter, hitting the bag, waiting for an opportunity, and I just said a prayer one day, and next thing I know, it presented itself there on Facebook, seeing that the gym was getting built, and I had hit up Misha, my manager now, and got in contact with him, tried it out for 2 weeks. They gave me like a little few tests here and there, see if I was tough enough to do it and hang with the crowd, and made plenty of friends. It seemed like they loved me, and I loved them in the game, and now here we are 4 years later, still fighting down the road, trying to make it up the ranks and climb that ladder.
You've had to prove yourself along the way. That's what I've seen. A lot of people have What was Randy doing here? That was a lot of the questions that were brought up. So talk about having had proved yourself and having had to do that in that environment.
Oh man, there's all kinds of people that inspire, and it seems like they're trying to take you out in some way or another. People that try and just they'll try and drop you. They'll try and see how tough you are and where your merit's really at. But you know, that's when it comes down to how bad you really want it. You know, if you want it, you're gonna stick in there and get dirty with it. If you don't, you're gonna drop out and get hurt. You know, it just comes down to how serious you want to be, and you'll make the sacrifices you have to do what you have to do.
How did you realize that this was right for you, that this was what you wanted to do? I mean, this isn't an easy lifestyle, isn't an easy job. How did you figure out this was completely right?
Man, it's just always been my dream, and I wanted to show people that it could be done. On top of that, especially after what I've been told and the things people told me that they kind of look up to me, I really felt it felt surreal to me at first, and then I realized I had a responsibility to make sure I could make it come to fruition and show people that this can really happen and can be done. It just takes hard work and sacrifice, and you really got to put your money where your mouth's at. You know, you got to put your foot on the gas when you have to, and make sure you're training and resting the right way, or else it's not going to work out well for you.
I don't have the exact fight written down, but the comeback with the sidekick, a hellacious fight up at the Jackson's MMA series. How do you find that kind of strength in a fight to come out after 2 hard rounds and man up in that 3rd round to go for it?
Well, I had looked across at my opponent, and at that point I'd realized I broke my hand in the 2nd round. So I was thinking, you know, I got to end this now. And then I was thinking, man, I've sparred way harder with guys back at the gym, you know. Diego Sanchez, Diego Brandao, we used to, and you know, those guys were taking it easy on me, you know. They definitely weren't trying to finish me off or hurt me or anything, but they used to put me in deep water and let me work and watch me work. And I looked across the ring at that guy, I can't remember his dang name either. And I was like, you know, I'm going to finish this guy, you know. I don't want to go to decision on my first fight. And then I came out there and I really meant business, and I remember I was looking him in the eye. I approached him real fast and hard. I kind of feinted him with the elbow and threw that side kick out there, and it lacerated his liver apparently, and they had to take him in with the ambulance for the first time. That's what Ricky told me.
Wow. And that was your debut?
Yeah.
The cage fighting debut. Now, where do you feel you've gone from there now as a martial arts? I know you're still a huge work in progress, but where do you feel you've went?
I've definitely learned a lot more lessons. I've had a few more fights since then, and I haven't been able to show what I want to in there. It's way easier said than done. You just really, you got to be in your comfort zone, and then you got to keep what you've learned in mind, or else it could all go out the window. You could be in panic mode and just be throwing your hands, you know. Or for some people, it's not even that. They try and run away or something. But this time, I want to get in there and show people what I've been working on. Not only my physical game, but my mental game. I want to go out there and put on like a fantastic show and just really show people what it's about whenever we're, what MMA fighting's about, whenever you got to put a game plan together and then execute it correctly.
Coming Friday night, Ian Velasquez is going to be the opponent. You're moving up a weight class. Normally we see at 45. This fight's going to be at 55. So first off, why taking the fight up a weight class?
It's what there was, and I really like Jackson Rink Fight Nights, you know. It is my favorite promotion, and there's only so much you can do, you know. If you want to fight, you can fight, and if you don't, you know, I guess someone else could have took it, but I wanted to get in there and show people what it's about, and, you know, moving up a weight class isn't scary for me. My first Muay Thai fight was at 155, and it was against a guy had become the state champion last time I checked of Oklahoma. I don't know what's going on with him now, but, you know, I'm not afraid of striking a little heavier weight and grappling and wrestling. I know I can handle it. I'm one of the stronger dudes when it comes to moving around at my weight classes.
Ian Velasquez, what I know about Ian is that we've seen him before. He comes from Takei Mine. He comes from a karate gym, so we're expecting some striking. What are you expecting in this one?
I want to strike around with him. I want to see where he's at. I plan on honestly, showing them the MMA style of striking. I want to, feint them, set them up. It's not all big flashy stuff when it comes to MMA striking. It's basics, big time basics, and you really got to be throwing your jab. Just like what Cowboy Cerrone did to Ali Quinta. He tore him apart because he's basic, using his basic stuff, and then he ate him for breakfast with those leg kicks. And Al basically went into his panic mode, which is still dangerous as hell, and started trying to throw bombs, but Cowboy's basics just ate that for breakfast. He didn't have a chance.
So, overall, we've talked a lot about what's coming up this week. Want everybody, real quick, tell them, what is your dream? This is your dream, but tell them about it.
My dream is to get on a level to where I can climb to the top of this ladder and hit those top ranks. I'd love to be the best at this MMA game, and I know that it comes down to either two guys fighting or two guys that have trained to fight each other in certain ways. So I just know I have to put in that work and make sure I know what I'm doing when I get in there, because it may not be completely as dangerous as a street fight where there's no referee and no one to save you if you're getting hurt or something like that, but it is dangerous for the moment, and you got to know what you're doing or you will get hurt and you will get put down.
We got local action this Friday night at Isleta. Thursday, the weigh-ins are open to the public at 2 p.m. at 777's inside of the Isleta Resort and Casino. Fight night, the showroom doors open at 5:30. First fight is at 7. Randy Baker on the amateur card. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you, guys. More Red Menace TV in just a moment.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
Ah!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
At Gala Chevrolet, our master technicians service every make and model no matter where you purchase your vehicle. But that's not all. We also provide certified service on every GM model. So if your car's been acting a little funny lately or something just doesn't seem right, don't wait. Bring it in to the most modern service facility in the entire state and let us make sure that you're driving a vehicle you and your family can depend on. Service done right the first time, every time, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back to Red Menace TV here on ProView Networks. Hey, I wanted to say real quick, Mike, before we jump into our other thing, congratulations to La Cueva's wide receiver, Connor O'Toole. Of course, you've seen Connor most of his games here on ProView Networks the past couple of years, playing for La Cueva, obviously the championship game last year for the Bears. He's got 5 scholarship offers, and the reason I'm bringing it up is we don't see that in Albuquerque a lot.
Sure.
I mean, and not just the schools that he has offers. I started off with the University of New Mexico offered him, then Northern Arizona offered him, and then Wyoming offered him, or it might be Wyoming and then Northern. I'm not sure if I have those. But the 2 latest offers that came in were Baylor University and Washington State. Those are big-time offers, especially the Baylor offer. And, no telling where Connor is going to go to. I'm going to try to contact him soon and kind of do a little interview and see what's going on. Summer camps haven't really started yet, and those sorts of things. And now once New Mexico offers, you're going to get certain offers usually. But once you start getting like Baylor and Washington State, and you get some of those P5 offers, do they still call them P5 or they're not BCS anymore? But once you start getting those offers, then all of a sudden the floodgates open up, especially for a young man. So congratulations to him, props to him, and obviously what they're doing at La Cueva is working, and the young man's doing a great job. So
for sure.
Definitely want to talk about that. Once again, ProView Networks, when it comes to high school sports, is the place to be. Football season's right around the corner. Basketball season just wrapped up, and baseball season, softball, the championships are getting ready to roll on that. So, one thing I wanted to talk about, Michael, and of course, I was excited because every so often it's Kentucky Derby,
right?
And so every year when we go, we try to pick our winners and everything else, and then you're like, let's pick a long shot, just for the heck of it. Right, because you never know. $2 bet, $5 bet. You pick up the right long shot. It comes in. You make some bank. Obviously, this year's Kentucky Derby, which is funny, and I'm going to regress, but we talked about this a little bit. There's so many sports, and I think the Kentucky Derby is one of those sports, the sport of kings, horse racing. Most people don't watch it or have been involved in it or seen it, except for the Kentucky Derby. And then maybe some people watch the Preakness and the Belmont Stakes, but usually it's just the Kentucky Derby, right? It's the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, I think they call it. I used to go to the horse races a lot, so this is nothing new to me. But obviously it ended in controversy this year as the favorite, Maximum Security. If you read the form, did exactly what he did, true to nature. I remember when we were this last week when we were deciding which horse to pick. My girlfriend and I was looking at the form, and I said, if this horse starts first, they won't catch him because he's that good. That's just the way he is. Now, if he gets pinched or slowed down, then he won't win. It'll be somebody else. And of course,
did you say now if he ventures over and blocks the other horses, they won't catch him?
So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. If you don't go and it was a few weeks ago I talked about we have two-inch replay now. Yeah. Soccer has the visual replay. There's the minor league baseball that's starting to call balls and strikes with the computer. Is that correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course is there any sport now that doesn't have replay?
No, I think pretty much they all do.
Everyone does,
and in some form or another.
And I said it kind of it's kind of ruined to me personally. It kind of ruins sports. However, horse racing has always had objections where the jockey or trainer or the steward can claim an objection. This is the first time it happened in the Kentucky Derby. And you mentioned security swung over. It's the first time. Well, I shouldn't say. It's the first time the final has been.
Mm-hmm.
And how many? And if you've ever been to a horse track, did you ever play the pony? Do you ever play the ponies or not?
Very rarely.
Okay, so when you're there and the race is going on and you got the winning ticket and your horse is there, or your horse isn't the one that wins, you throw your ticket away. You're like, this sucks,
Right.
My horse lost. But you have to wait. Because you have to wait for it to say official.
Now, you won a little cash.
I did.
Did you have to dive on the floor looking for your ticket, or?
So my girlfriend had the tickets. We were there with the family, we were watching it there. And sure enough, she threw the ticket in the trash. And then, because obviously maximum security went wire to wire, he led the whole thing, but he veered off. And then as we're watching and talking, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's an objection on the board. And I said, wait, you better get that ticket back. I said, where's the ticket? And she's like, why? He lost. I go, no, there's an objection. I go, if they rule that horse ineligible, that horse is going to win. He was it paid $132 something for a $2 bet. She's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, get the ticket. Luckily, because we had tacos that day, so there was no guacamole on the guacamole sauce on the ticket. But yeah, I mean, you're right. She did.
So hold on. Here's what I've taken from all
this.
Yes. So you're trying to take credit for picking this horse. It sounds to me like it was actually your girlfriend who picked the horse.
No. Like I said, every year that I bet the Kentucky Derby, I try to pick a winner, and I hate betting the chalk. I hate betting the favorites. I always do. I just never did. I try to find the guys that have a little decent payoff and then bet from there. But then you always pick one or two long shots just for the heck of it. Just, it's in the world of gambling, it's like a dream, right? Horse racing, it's a dream. It's like, if this horse wins this $2, I'll make $132. So we just happened to pick the Country House, I believe the horse's name is. And it came through. It was like a bettor's dream. That's all. There was no. I didn't look at the form and say, this horse is going to be in the money. I thought he was a dog myself. It just, he happened to be the lucky recipient of this thing, and then obviously the steward's objection. But it just makes me laugh because so many people have commented, it's like, well, that's not fair, the video replay, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, this happens all the time in horse. It always has. Ever since I was a kid, I remember steward's objections.
Yeah, it took, 22 minutes to review it? If that had happened at the Downs or any local track, hell, if that had happened at Churchill Downs on Wednesday,
right?
In about 2 minutes, the horse would have been disqualified. It stinks for the horse. I don't know that it was intentional. Now, Trujillo on the radio show swears up and down the horse is a cheat, the jockey's a cheat. I think he's somewhat joking. I'm not sure, but I don't know whether it's intentional or not. But there's no doubt the horse drifted across a couple of lanes, got into a couple of horses, and once that happens, you can't assume, well, he probably would have won anyway, or those horses wouldn't have caught him, or this horse definitely would have passed him if he had done that. There was interference. It's pretty cut and dry at that point.
Yeah.
He has to be disqualified.
And I think it took so long because so much money's on that race and because it's so big.
You have to have a statement ready because you're right. And there was a lot of money involved, and a lot of people are going to be unhappy. And the people that had country houses a long shot, they're going to be ecstatic.
Well, and I had a $2 ticket, so it's so funny because I let Sebastian know, Noel, and he was all like, $2? I'm like, dude, it's a long shot. You're not going to bet a ton of money. But there are people that I'm sure laid $100 on it, and they won for $100. They won like $6,000. I mean, it's like, so you're talking big money, and then of course the purse. For the horse and the owner, I mean, it's like $3 million for the purse. Yeah. And of course, Maximum Security's owner, as a form of protest, decided he's not going to run in the Preakness. Had he won the Kentucky Derby, as he did, he would have won the Preakness because you have the triple crown.
Yeah, probably.
And all that stuff.
Yeah, it's not that uncommon for horses that don't win the Kentucky Derby to not bother to run the Preakness, though. A lot of, and the official reason that the owner of Maximum Security gave as well. It's a quick turnaround. There's no sense putting the horse through that if there's not a Triple Crown on the line. I'm with you. I think he was protesting, but I get it. But now Country House is not running either. Apparently, Country House is coming down with a cold. So
he got a cold?
Yeah.
Well, it was raining.
Sure. Well, yeah.
His fur was wet.
You get all sweaty in the rain and the mud, and boom, next thing you know.
I mean, I'm sure when you were growing up,
they're
your
feeding him
parents
chicken
told
noodle
you-
soup. They got him wrapped in blankets or an Afghan or something, sitting on the couch.
Chicken noodle soup.
Watching The Price is Right.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just like when we were homesick from school back in the day.
I mean, how many times did your parents tell you, do not
Yeah.
go outside with wet hair
That's
in the
right.
rain?
Exactly.
Well, he went out with wet hair in the rain, and now he's got a
Yeah.
cold, so he gets to miss a day in school. We'll take a quick break and come back with some tragedy.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
Ah!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
At Gala Chevrolet, our master technicians service every make and model.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car crafters, it's like it never happened.
Dude, you are the worst host ever.
Yeah, that was not a good tease.
Maybe you should leave the teases to me.
I will.
So you really, as we went to break a while ago, you said with a smile and a grin on your face, "We'll be right back with tragedy."
Yeah, that was bad.
Really, dude?
That's not the way it meant to come out. It meant to come out some
gosh.
tragic news.
Oh, my head.
Tragic news with the University of New Mexico. As future Lobo baseball player Jackson Weller was gunned down in Albuquerque, down up the street from here on Central. And it's tragic. I mean,
Sure.
you hate to see it. I mean, it's become so predominant in this community. A lot of communities nowadays of young people getting shot or people just getting shot and murdered. And it's brutal. It's sad. I know Ray Birmingham and Eddie Nunez have tried to address it somewhat, trying to keep the political, which everything seems to be politicized this day and age, out of it and just talk about the young man.
Sure, and that's well and good, and that's what they should do. We as a community, whether it's a Lobo baseball player, whether it's a mailman, whether it's you or I or whomever, we should be sick and tired of all the crime that's going on in this community.
Yeah.
But whether it's shootings, whether it's automobile thefts, or what have you. We should all be better than this. And unfortunately, right now we're not.
No.
And this is, certainly from a sports standpoint, this one's a much bigger deal because this was a Lobo baseball player. But unfortunately, this sort of thing happens way too often in this city, in this state, and you don't have to be political about it to realize something needs to change and start dialogue and conversation to initiate change. I'm not, again, you don't have to be political. You don't have to go on your pro-NRA or anti-NRA rants to do it. It's just common sense. Something's got to give in this community because there's way too much of this sort of thing going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's seeing the story and the way it works, I mean, I don't know, does Albuquerque need more police officers? Is that what it is? I don't know. I really
partially,
don't know.
and again, I don't,
I mean, I know there's
it's part of the, that's part of the conversation process. I don't know that there's any one thing you snap your finger, hey, if we do this, problem solved. I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's a combination of a lot of different things, but I think, we as a community, we as a state have been, way too far behind in trying to address this. And, the time is now to do it. Before the next person, whether it's a baseball player, an athlete, or again, just a regular citizen. Like I said, this happens way too much now.
And I don't know if UNM, I would think they're the right venue to start, maybe open up the conversation. Like you said, there's a platform that they definitely have now. I don't know, once again, I don't think it's a pro-guns or anti-guns or anything like that. It's more of just a societal thing. No. Let's talk about that.
Exactly. There's too much crime in our community. We need to do something about it. There's too much crime in the state. We need to do something. I mean, you could keep opening it up. Right. It doesn't have to be political. It doesn't have to be Dems and Republicans or anything like that. It's just common sense. We've got to do something to curb crime. And obviously, in this case, a senseless murder, one of the many things we have, too much of when it comes to crime in our communities, and it's time to do something about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I saw the press conference with Eddie and Coach Birmingham, obviously torn up about that.
Absolutely.
I know they didn't, they said they wanted to keep it on just Jackson and him, who he is. And I think that was, at that point, I think that was the right thing to do. Let's get through that. Obviously, the funeral's next week, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it is Monday, yes.
And
it's the 13th, whatever they did. That is. I think it's Monday.
And it's just like, we get through that. But then once this is all over, I think someone needs to start talking about this.
I agree.
And I think UNM, a university, something like that, that would be a good place to start. Once again, let's not go political. Let's just talk about how we can come together as a community to stop this kind of nonsense, or at least slow it down, something.
And if UNM wants to lead that charge, certainly by all means, but they shouldn't have to. This should be something, our elected leaders are leading the charge on. That we as citizens who are fed up with it are leading the charge on. We can all lead the charge.
Sure.
But something needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, it's just over 100 shootings in little over 100 days. We have more shootings than days. It's insane, just everything. And it's just like, it's time to start moving forward. And even let's move forward from dialogue and let's start putting some ideas into action. It just, it's tough.
Sure.
So anyways, next week we'll see what goes on as far as sports and everything else, and it's kind of a weird segue, but we're at the end of the show. So do you want to lead us out this time, since I messed up the last one?
Sure. For Leroy Lucero, for Alden Tickling the Buttons, I'm Michael Carlisle. Join us again next week for Red Menace TV, right here on ProView Networks.